I was just thinking about, one of my morning routines is my affirmations, and I say them, and they're quite long now. It takes me like 8 minutes or 9 minutes to say them. And I'm saying all these things I want to be true in the future as if they're true today. And I try to visualize them and see them. And I say them over and over again. And sometimes I realize like 3 years later, they're
Came
coming
true.
dangerously close to true. Yeah. And one of the ones I always talk about, Joe, I don't talk about as much, but one of my affirmations used to be that me and my wife were the proud parents of a brand new baby. And it sounded like maybe a normal one, but we went through some really difficult times with miscarriages, and it was my affirmation every day. And so there was a point where I think my wife looked at me and was just like, maybe we should just stop. But in my mind, we had already done it, and I was like, and I think that affirmation and that visualization made me like, what are you talking about? This is happening. It's going to happen. And I think just that vibe of me kept her on the same page. And now we got these two bandits of boys, 3 and 4 years old. And so be careful what you wish for. But I mean,
And
that whole
wait a minute,
visualization and attraction.
I got to interrupt you here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, you may not invite me back since I'm doing self-promotion and I'm interrupting you. But excuse me. First of all, congratulations. Congratulations. That's a big deal. You're a family guy. I know that's important. So congratulations to you and your wife.
Thank you. It was worth it.
Affirmations work, and people should be considering affirmations. In fact, using them right now. I was having lunch, this is a year or so ago, with a woman, and I was talking about affirmations, and she said, yeah, affirmations don't work for me. And I paused and looked at her and I said, you do know that's an affirmation. Affirmations don't work for me is affirming that affirmations don't work, and you will prove that affirmations don't work because affirmations do work. So you do have to be careful what you are actually expressing. And you just said here a second ago, be careful what you wish for. And I want people to be super aware of what they're asking for and what they're talking about, because the universe is always listening. You could just take it right down to basic psychology and take the universe out of it and say your subconscious mind is always listening. But there is a creating aspect of you that is listening to what you say. The other thing you said, and I hope this is okay, Brian, but I listened, and you had said you were coming dangerously close to something manifesting. Dangerously sounds like you were implying that there was going to be some sort of negativity in this. And when people are stating their affirmations, I want them to be positive. I want them to be short. I want them to be declarations of what you want to have, do, or be. We want to take away the fear. We want to take away the danger. We don't want to put that into the universe, because the universe is listening. We want to actually declare, well, if you really believed that you could have, do, or be anything that you could imagine, how would you state that? You would state that in such a positive way that you wouldn't leave any room for error, and you wouldn't leave any leeway for something negative to happen. I've often said that you have to treat the universe like, I don't know, Amazon, or you treat it like the old department stores. If you wanted a particular coat, you just didn't go in there and said, give me a coat. You went in there and you said, I need this particular coat, this brand, this size, this color, this length, whatever it happens to be. You would be as specific as possible. And I think the affirmation needs to be in that way. Affirmations do work. You just proved it right there. I love that you have 8 minutes of them that you're listening to every morning. I think it's a form of self-talk. And self-talk is probably another subject to look at it maybe another time. But it's the whole idea that what we're telling ourselves are affirmations. They could be called negations, because we're not actually affirming the positive. We're actually affirming the negative. And so we want to be aware, what are we thinking? What are we affirming? What are we stating? And do it in the sense of the universe is magical and you are a wizard and it is listening and it will provide. So do be careful what you wish for.
It's so true. I just started doing these about 5 years ago when, funny enough, I met an old man with a castle in Scotland who taught me how to do affirmations. You would think it would be someone from California, but I say them every day, and I say them out loud as I used to walk to the tube. Now I say them out loud in the back of an Uber. And funny enough, I teach my students to say them out loud, and they're always like, Brian, why do I have to say this out loud? And I'm like, well, is 2 + 2 = 4, right? Yeah, so it's true. So why wouldn't you say that out loud? Of course you'd say it out loud. Who cares if someone hears me? And your affirmations are just as true as that. So when you say them out loud, I am the greatest female life coach the world has ever seen. I am the proud CEO of $1 million business. I have a beautiful body I love to look at in the mirror naked every day. So you say those things out loud. Sure, you might feel a little self-conscious, but it proves to your subconscious that they're true. So I love that take.
Well, the other thing that I do with affirmations is write them out. I think it's one thing to think them, which is a step in the right direction. It's another thing to speak them, which is certainly a more powerful step than just thinking them. But to me, the more powerful step is to actually write them. So when you're writing them, you're actually doing something physical. If you do it old school, I'm sure you can type on the typewriter, but I grew up with a number 2 pencil and a sheet of paper. And so the cursor way is the way that I would probably do it, because my brain was trained to respect that kind of activity. And if I write something down, I'm physically involved in it. I'm actually doing things that my brain is recording. Plus, it's also detached from me. So in other words, while it's me moving my hand, I'm actually observing the moving of my hand. I'm actually reading what I'm writing. And of course, in my head, I'm dictating what I'm writing. So for me, the writing of affirmations is the most powerful thing you can do. Listening to audios of your own voice saying your meditation or your affirmations is also powerful. It's another form of saying it out loud. So I think thinking them positively, powerful. Saying them out loud, powerful. Recording them out loud, listening to them over and over again, powerful. But for me, writing them down is the most powerful. If you think of it as you are programming your mind, and this is the source code you're using. By moving your hand and writing it down, you're writing new source code for the software in your brain. That is incredibly powerful.